Well, the Stanley Cup has been decided and the free agent frenzy is dying down, but hockey never really stops being a hot topic in this country. And one question that always seems to crop up is, what are the chances of the NHL adding Canadian teams to the league? TSN and the Globe and Mail have teamed up to bring you a special 6-part series looking at 4 potential Canadian markets for new or relocated NHL franchises. Here's Dave Naylor with part 1.
Promised mess I wouldn't do this.
It was the moment that shook Canadian hockey. The great one traded to the Los Angeles Kings, the symbolic American beachhead for the NHL. It was supposed to spark a golden age of U.S. hockey, which it did for a while. Over the next dozen years, the NHL added 10 new U.S. teams. There was hockey added in Tampa, Atlanta, Nashville, Carolina. Meanwhile, as the Canadian dollar continued to dive, owners of NHL teams in Quebec City and Winnipeg gave up. And the Nordiques and Jets both headed south.
They were focusing a lot on the U.S. expansion, which was fine. You tried to sell that team. But there's some place it cannot work everywhere.
And there have been troubles.
We're going to leave all the discussion right now for the court.
Bankruptcy hearings in Phoenix, where the former Winnipeg Jets turned Coyotes, are a financial basket case. The team was eventually taken over by the league. Other U.S. teams play to thousands of empty seats. A strong Stanley Cup final between big markets Chicago and Philadelphia has raised hopes of more American TV money, but for now, television revenues in the U.S. remain puny.
Compare that to Canada, the home of hockey and the Hockey Hall of Fame, where television ratings for NHL games have never been stronger and buildings around the country are filled to capacity virtually every night. Just 6 of the NHL's 30 teams are located in Canada, yet roughly 30% of NHL ticket revenue comes from north of the border, leading many Canadians to ask, if there are U.S. teams struggling, why not Canada? In this special series, we'll examine that question and try to separate emotion from facts.
I mean, hockey is at its mecca right now. The Canadian economy is at probably its best position versus the U.S. that it's been in a long time. So right now is a great time.
Norm O'Reilly is a Canadian expert in the business side of sports at the University of Ottawa. We asked him to look at the numbers for the 4 most talked about markets when it comes to possible NHL expansion or relocation to Canada: Winnipeg, Hamilton, Quebec City, and a second team in Toronto. While there's no exact formula for determining whether a franchise in a particular Canadian market can thrive, O'Reilly came up with a system to rate each city's chances based on a complex series of factors. We'll bring you his ratings as the series goes along.
We look very closely at all the professional leagues and what makes a team successful off the ice. So in its books, the business success, profitability, etc. So we look at every potential influencer that could have an impact on the profitability of the club.
Over the next 5 nights, we'll assess the prospects of the 4 Canadian cities and their efforts to win new franchises or bring back old ones.
We're going to be one of the smaller markets or smallest markets in the league. That said, we feel very comfortable. There's enough people here. There's enough business here to support a team.
Something is missing in town. It's the spirit about our national sport.
I'd like fans to know that we're very focused on the issue, and we have been. But I'd also like people to know it's not going to happen overnight like throwing a light switch, and people need to be patient.
And if it's for the future best of the industry, if the best move is to look at Canada again, they will. I know them. They will.
For SportsCenter, I'm Dave Naylor.
Tomorrow on SportsCenter, we take a look at the city of Winnipeg and the chances of the NHL returning to a place it left 14 years ago.
It's always been a good hockey market. Finally, they have an arena that is up to NHL standards.
The second part of our 6-part Why Not Canada series tomorrow on SportsCenter.